underway at Wolves when they host Tottenham. Matches after that, Arsenal, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Everton, Man United and Luton all kicking off at 3 p.m. here in the UK. And then Bournemouth versus Newcastle ends off Saturday's action. Plenty to come on Sunday as well, including Liverpool at home against Brentford before the humdinger at Chelsea. Chelsea versus Manchester City, the feature match of the weekend. City are sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League. I think for them, match week 11 couldn't have gone any better. They won while Tottenham lost for the first time. So too did Liverpool. So too did Arsenal. Liverpool dropping points at Luton and Aston Villa as well losing. Newcastle, a big victory for them as well, brings them closer to that top 5. Manchester United in 8th position after their victory, and Chelsea in the top half of the table after ending Tottenham's unbeaten start to the season. Bottom half of the table is where Crystal Palace, West Ham, Nottingham Forest find themselves in a little bunch there before a gap between Everton and Luton. Bournemouth, Burnley and Sheffield United all in the drop zone. It's all set up very nicely for match week 12 in the Premier League. Great to be in your company on Team Talks tonight. I'm Julia Stewart. Great to be in the company of Neda Manua and Darren Lewis. Guys, match week 11 was lit. There is no other way for me to describe it. We saw Sheffield United getting their first victory, Chelsea ending Spurs' unbeaten run in absolute mad game on a Monday. Darren?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the reason why this is the best league in the world. Because every time we look at the fixtures on paper, we think it's going to be a walkover with a big team, the better resourced team, the team with all the A-listers. The smaller team is David to their Goliath. And the entertainment level last weekend was off the scale. But the wonderful thing about it is I think this week's one will be as well.
Hey, listen, I would absolutely love that. And I think we can do a nice little preview for that as well.
I like to call it the greatest soap opera in the world, the greatest drama series, because whoever the script writers are, man, they just keep getting better.
Well, it's a 38-episode box set.
It is, yeah.
It's fabulous. I just think all of the little subplots with the players and the recriminations over all of the decisions and the superstars who light up the Premier League as well. And the fact that we have a title race with 6 teams in it for newspaper men like me is fantastic. Yeah, I think 6.
Ned thinks there's 1 in it.
And well, no, I would like it to be 1, obviously, from a Man City persuasion. But he's right. There are some teams really in it. But then it's also interesting to see Newcastle, I think they're on 20 points, but Manchester United are 2 points behind them. I thought United were having a bad season.
Indeed.
So, you know, as I say, it is a great soap opera.
It's the first time in Premier League history this many teams have this many points at this stage of the campaign.
Best league ever.
Yeah, it just keeps getting more and more competitive. It means that we have plenty to talk about today. And here's what we've got in store for you on Team Talks tonight. It's a Manchester United's match against Luton. We're going to hear from Rob Edwards after we hear from Marcus Rashford's performance.
I mean, obviously there was extenuating circumstances, but we did lose the game on Wednesday, and that's 9 defeats now. Is it acceptable, really, for Manchester United to be losing so many games so early in the season?
Finally, it's about the end result, and we have to win every game. So we are very disappointed if losing any game. But finally, it's about the end result, and it's always about being a process, thinking about a process. And then it's about manage that process, and it's only where I focus on.
Do you trust this group of players? I mean, you were 2 goals up and coasting, and then something not great happened, and then that focus seemed to be lost. And it's not the first time that's happened this season. Unless you can overcome bad things in games, you won't get anywhere.
I think we often proved we can, like in Fulham, like in Brentford, that this team can overcome big setbacks. So, yeah.
Erik, I just wanted to ask about Marcus Rashford. How's he been after the red cards? And are you happy with his form at the moment?
With his
form, with the way he's playing?
I think he is not happy. We are not happy, but that is... we have an expectation. He has high expectations from himself. And, yeah, of course, in this moment, he's not in his best form. But I know he will be back. I know when the team is playing better, he will play better. He will go and score goals. I'm confident on that. And so, yeah, also this season, he will improve and he will score goals. He's totally in the team and he's totally aware of everything. So I think he will be back on track.
How confident are you that we will see the best of Marcus Rashford soon then?
That can happen very quickly. And sometimes you need only one game. And I'm sure that he will get there.
Erik, I'm sure you saw the point that Luton got against Liverpool last week in a big performance from them. What do you make of how they are slowly trying to find their feet in the Premier League?
I think they had some more good performances and results. So we're fully aware of that. And in the Premier League, there's no easy game. You have to play at your best, at your highest levels every game. So, yeah, also there, we are fully aware of it and we have to be 100% focused in the game to win that game.
Ian. Can I just ask, Johnny Evans obviously came off in Copenhagen. How is he and what are his chances not only for tomorrow but also for Northern Ireland next week?
So we don't have, in this moment, fully assessment done. We didn't finish it, so we don't have all the details so far, but for tomorrow he is out.
And for next week, do you know?
I can't say this because we don't have, we're finishing the fully assessment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Erik. So about Mason Mount, we have seen him playing as a number 8, number 10, and off the right, but has not so far making any impressive impact. So what was your expectation on him when signing him, and has it changed a little bit now?
No, hasn't changed at all. But he started the season and then he got injured. So that is the worst moment for a new player to get injured. Because it stops the integration process, and that was definitely a setback for us all and for him. And now we have to fight his place back.
He hasn't been starting that much recently. Was there any reason behind that?
So he had some starts. Also recently, last week against Newcastle, for instance, but. There are always reasons, and sometimes I said the injury, and then other players coming in doing well, and then you have to wait for your time to play.
I think they're excited and looking forward to it. I am. It's a brilliant game for us against another giant of English football. Going to Old Trafford is a really special occasion for us. But again, like what the message was for Liverpool last week, we want to compete and want to do well. We'll enjoy it a whole lot more if we do.
Darren wants to make a big call.
No. I was going to, but I'm gonna rein myself in.
Okay, so Luton last time out had an absolutely fantastic result. Might have felt like a defeat because they were leading and they scored so late on. Liverpool got the equaliser. Wonderful result for them against Liverpool. And now they face Manchester United.
Yeah, it's a real blessing, to go from out of the frying pan into the fire. I thought against Liverpool, once they took the lead, I thought, I think they're going to do this. But in fairness to Liverpool, they kept pushing. Liverpool themselves, they did have a ton of opportunities. But this is the way football has to go. Sometimes you have to ride your luck, and then when you take your chance, when you get a chance, you have to take it. And in fairness, they did do that. Absolutely. Going to Old Trafford against the Manchester United side that's under pressure, you'd expect a strong performance by United. So then, for me, I think this is where matchups matter, and how do the two styles of play match up? If Luton are going to offer something that's a bit more direct and challenging from that standpoint, there'll always be a chance of being in the game. But as far as talent and stuff goes and having that 70,000 person crowd, I'm not going to make the big call to say that Luton are going to get something from this game, but maybe someone on the panel might.
There's no pressure on them.
There's always pressure. There's always pressure.
Well, I think going to Old Trafford, where Manchester United have lost 5 times already this season, lost only twice all of last season, and there is pressure, huge pressure on them.
I think that's a good point. But when I say there's always pressure, you could say you enter a game and you've got nothing to lose. But if you lose a few early goals, you've got a lot to lose, because all of a sudden you're looking at the clock thinking, when will this end? That's when the pressure of embarrassment kicks in. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily say there's no pressure as such.
Not no pressure, but more pressure on United.
Yeah, 100. I totally agree with that.
Well, United, 9 defeats in 17 games so far this season. They were beaten in Copenhagen, having been 2-0 up. And if you're 2-0 up, you
don't forget 3-2 as well.
3-2 as well, absolutely. Yeah. And the point I was going to make is that if you are ahead against a team you are superior to, let's not kid ourselves. Copenhagen, very spirited, but not in Manchester United's glass when you look at the expenditure, the experience and the quality on the pitch at the time. And what made it even worse is afterwards their head coach said, we didn't even play that well, which would have been, if you're of a United persuasion, you might remember that for future seasons. But I think as far as United are concerned, they've become a team you cannot trust. And that's really hard to say, because after Sir Alex left, even when they were behind in games, we'd been kind of taught for so many years that they will find a way to score in Fergie time, the 91st, 92nd, 93rd minute. Now, you cannot trust them. You cannot trust them to hold on to the lead. And I think that I was here last time and you put up the box in the little corner that you sometimes do. Coxie, the producer, does that sometimes.
We really scarred you.
And you showed the upcoming games. And I remember saying that I did not see a game they could win except for this one. I'm not even certain they can win this one. I didn't. I couldn't see a game they could win.
Yeah.
Oh, United. I thought you were talking about Luton.
No.
I wanted to...
I was like, I don't know which one's worse.
Fairy pulisce meglio del comunigenio. Numero 1 contro lo sporco ostinato.
I'm so confused.
I don't know which one is the big call now. I wanted to follow up on something you'd mentioned, and Ten Hag had been talking about Rashford. There's one way to look at it, which we have, which is McTominay scored and Maguire scored, and the goals were coming from all different places and surprising players. But it also points in the Premier League, Rashford is the only one of the attackers who has scored a Premier League goal.
Wild stat. Yeah, that's so confusing to even think about. And even say today, I was having a debate with someone about Højlund. I was like, yeah, he scored in the Premier League. And then I realised, like, no, he hasn't.
No.
Yeah, that's obviously not great. But I think in fairness to these players, there's a reason why they are playing for a club of that size, because something within them which should, in theory, at some point, rise. So I'm a believer they'll do it. I think Rashford will do it. I think last season, for as much as, in my opinion, he overperformed, this is him greatly underperforming now. I think something in the middle would exist which would represent who he is. And who's to say he can't start this weekend against Luton?
I think it's very fair. I mean, 30 goals last season, 1 goal so far this season. And obviously he'll be very, very keen. He put the statement on social media after he was sent off, apologising to the fans. He'll want to repay them in this game. The problem for him and for Højlund is neither player gets enough service. And that is... it's a gift for the opposition, and it's the reason why I think this might, on paper, let's not kid ourselves. For everyone watching around the world,
here we go, everyone, buckle up, here we go.
And on paper, they should have beaten Copenhagen, and on paper, they should have won at home against them as well.
And as such,
all I will say is this: we've seen this movie before.
Oh, we have seen this movie before. Listen, Luton are in the middle of a very tough run. They were buoyed by the fact that they got a draw against Liverpool, but United are next. They face Arsenal and City in a difficult run as well. On Matchday Live, we got to speak to Andros Townsend after the draw against Liverpool. He had no clue what was coming. Check this out. Just had a look at your upcoming run, because there's City in there as well. There's Arsenal in there. It's not going to get any easier.
No, it doesn't get easier. And I go back to my last point. Oh, wow. I didn't know. Oh, man. Yeah, but listen, I hope tonight's result and the performance against Spurs a few weeks ago give these boys the belief that whether it be United at Old Trafford or City here at Kenilworth Road, it's going to be tough for any team to come here. And we have to take belief. We have to believe that we can mix it against these big boys. And honestly, as a player, I'm looking forward to these big games, especially here at Kenilworth Road.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to those big games. Their only win this season came away from home.
So I played with Andros. I'm looking at him. I think he's lying there. I don't know if he's looking forward to those games. I'm not a full believer in everything he said there. No, I think the Kenilworth Road factor will be a big one for them. They'll feel more comfortable being there.
They're playing at Old Trafford now.
Yeah, like how many touches are you really going to have, Andros? But hopefully they can find something and he can sort of enjoy this season for them. Yeah.
Man, we're just happy to be back for the first time since March 2022.
Exactly. You'll soon grow out of that.
Big games coming for Luton, and they are playing against Manchester United. All right, the moment you have all been waiting for.
Let's go.
Scores only. Commit. You got this.
100% commitment, or any sort of
100% commitment.
Are we alternating?
No. You both give me, you can just give me a winner if you like, or tell me if it's a draw or a score. Let's start with Wolves, Tottenham.
I'm going for 2-2 draw.
I'm going for 2-1 Spurs.
Man United, Luton Town.
I'm going to say 4-1 to Man United.
I'm going to say 1-1.
Arsenal versus...
Do you say that confidently, yeah?
No.
Okay, cool. Just check it.
Just heard from the gallery, whoop. So that is a big call. Arsenal, Burnley?
3-0 for me.
Yeah, I'll go 4-0 Arsenal.
Crystal Palace, Everton.
What did I say before?
No, you said.
Oh, I said 2-0, Ebereze masterclass.
There you go.
I'll go 2-1. I think Eberry will light it up.
He's wrong, it's 2-0.
Bournemouth, Newcastle.
I think there could be a shocker, you know.
Really?
I think it might be 2-1 to Bournemouth, yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 the other way, Newcastle.
Right, there's too much chatting going on here. We need them to be
quick
fire. Right,
so my fault.
Sunday, and we're switching. Okay. Aston Villa, Fulham, starting with you, Darren.
Villa at home, 2-0.
I'll go 2-0 as well.
Brighton, Sheffield United.
3-0.
3-1.
Darren, Liverpool, Brentford.
2-0.
4-1.
West Ham, Nottingham Forest.
1-0.
I'm going to say no, I'm sorry.
Chelsea versus Manchester City.
3-1. To City.
Yeah, you calm down, you. 4-3 Man City, greatest game ever.